Heather Pressdee was a nurse. She wore the uniform, carried the stethoscope, and was trusted by many. She was supposed to care for the sick, to be a beacon of hope and healing in times of distress. Instead, she became a nightmare for her patients and their families, shattering their trust and bringing fear into their lives. Pressdee was convicted of murder, a crime that left a deep scar on the community. She used her position to kill, turning tools meant for healing into instruments of death. She preyed on the vulnerable, those who could not defend themselves, making her actions even more heinous. This is a story about the ultimate betrayal of trust, where the very person meant to protect became the predator. Nurses are the heart of healthcare. Patients depend on them for comfort, care, and compassion. They offer comfort and care, often becoming a lifeline for those in need. When a nurse uses that power to harm, it is deeply unsettling. Pressdee's case shocked many, leaving a lasting impact. It made people question the safety of healthcare, wondering if they could truly trust those meant to care for them. The thought of a nurse as a killer is terrifying, a concept that shakes the very foundation of our trust in the healthcare system. It violates our sense of security, making us question the integrity of those we rely on. Pressdee's case is a stark reminder that evil can lurk where we least expect it. Evil can hide in plain sight, even behind the caring facade of a trusted nurse. Heather Pressdee's crimes spanned years, leaving a trail of sorrow and loss in their wake. She worked in multiple care facilities, each one becoming a potential hunting ground for her sinister activities. This allowed her to target many victims, exploiting the trust placed in her by both patients and their families. Prosecutors believe she killed at least 3 patients, but the true number of her victims may be much higher. They suspect her in the deaths of up to 17 more, making her one of the most prolific serial killers in the healthcare industry. Pressdee used insulin as her weapon of choice, a substance meant to save lives, twisted into a tool of death. She gave lethal doses to her victims, ensuring their demise while maintaining an appearance of care and professionalism. These patients were already in fragile health, making them easy targets for her deadly intentions. They trusted her to care for them, to provide the comfort and medical attention they desperately needed. Instead, she used their vulnerability against them, turning their final days into a nightmare. The families of Pressdee's victims were devastated, their grief compounded by the betrayal of someone they had trusted. They entrusted their loved ones to her care, believing she would provide the compassion and support they could not. They never imagined she would be the one to end their lives, shattering their families forever. Why would a nurse become a serial killer? It's a question that haunts investigators and the public alike. The idea that someone entrusted with the care of the vulnerable could turn into a predator is deeply unsettling. Pressdee claims she wanted to end her victims' suffering. She saw herself as an angel of mercy, believing that she was alleviating pain and providing a release from the torment of illness. However, prosecutors argued against this. They pointed to the calculated nature of her crimes, suggesting that her actions were far from merciful. Pressdee chose her victims carefully, often targeting those who were already in a weakened state. She documented her actions meticulously, keeping detailed records of her deeds. This suggested a chilling awareness of her deeds. Some experts believe Pressdee enjoyed the power that came with deciding who would live and who would die. Killing gave her a sense of control, a feeling of dominance over life and death. Others suggest she may have suffered from a mental illness, which clouded her judgment and led her down this dark path. Regardless of the reason, Pressdee's actions were evil. She took innocent lives, leaving families devastated and communities in shock. The case of Pressdee serves as a grim reminder of the potential for darkness within those we trust the most. It challenges us to look deeper into the motivations behind such heinous acts. As we try to understand the mind of a killer, we must also remember the victims and the lives that were unjustly cut short. The legacy of Pressdee's crimes will forever be a part of the history of those affected, a somber chapter in the annals of criminal psychology. Understanding her motives may help prevent future tragedies, but it will never erase the pain she caused. The story of Pressdee is a stark reminder of the fragility of trust and the importance of vigilance in the healthcare system. Regardless of the reason, Pressdee's actions were evil. She took innocent lives, leaving a trail of sorrow and unanswered questions. Section 4. Justice and Accountability. Pressdee's crimes came to light in 2023. A co-worker noticed something suspicious. They reported it to the authorities. An investigation was launched. The full extent of Pressdee's crimes began to unravel. Pressdee was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder. She eventually pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty. She was sentenced to life in prison. The judge called her actions pure evil. The families of Pressdee's victims found some solace in the verdict. However, nothing could bring back their loved ones. Pressdee's crimes left a permanent scar. Section 5. Preventing future tragedies. The case of Heather Pressdee sent shockwaves through the healthcare system. How could a nurse commit such horrific acts? And how could she get away with it for so long? The investigation revealed systemic failures. Hospitals and care facilities had not been thorough enough in their background checks. Warning signs were missed or ignored. Pressdee's case is a wake-up call. It highlights the need for better oversight in healthcare. Hospitals need stricter hiring practices. They must be vigilant in monitoring staff behavior. Above all, they must prioritize patient safety.